Hello everybody, Jack here. Welcome to another Warhammer 40K video. Today I'm going to be covering stripping the paint off of your minis. Now I've actually never done this before, but I happen to have this unit of Primaris that came with the Dark Imperium box set, and it was pretty much my introduction to the 40K hobby. And it was my very first army that I had ever painted. And while I'm pretty pleased with my paint job for a first timer, now that I look at it, I'm kind of like, I could have done better. I'm not being nitpicky, but I just feel like at this point, I've grown as a painter and I've grown in the hobby. So I talked to some other hobbyists at my local store, and they recommended that I strip my Primaris Space Marines and repaint them. Now, I've never done this before, so I thought I'd make a video and let you guys know how this is gonna work. Alright, so you see here I have a unit of intercessors. I've got an ancient. I've got a couple lieutenants. I have a captain. I have 2 interceptors. And then I have a unit of Hellblasters. So this is a pretty solid unit. It's about 1,000 points of Primaris right here. And it'll be a respectable unit. Now, this particular unit of Primaris are plastic. These are plastic Marines. So everything I'm doing here, keep in mind that I'm working with plastics. I'm not working with resin or metal. I'm not really sure, what the differences are in what you would use to strip those minis, but I was advised as to how to strip plastic minis. So I will be stripping plastic minis right here. And my paint layers were pretty thin, but as you can see, it's kind of worn down a little bit because this was quite a while ago. And to strip these Marines, I was advised to use this right here. It's called LA's Totally Awesome, and it's basically an all-purpose cleaner. You can get this at the 99-cent store. This gigantic this is a 1 gallon bottle of this is $3.99, so very affordable. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these guys in a little bucket. We're gonna fill it up with this LA Awesome, and we're gonna find out if it works. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little plastic bin and I'm gonna put my Primaris inside. So I'm gonna stick my unit in here and just fill up this bucket with my Primaris. So there they are. The entire unit fits inside of this trash can bucket, which is going to be enough room for me to fill it up with the all-purpose cleaner. Now I'm going to take my bottle of LA Totally Awesome, unscrew it, be really careful. I'm going to take this little thing off of it, and I will now pour the LA Awesome into the bucket. Gonna make sure that I fill it up all the way. Get them all under there so that all the models are filled up there. The LA Awesome. So at this point I have filled the bucket with the LA Cleanser, made sure that the models are completely submerged in it, and we're gonna wait about 24 hours and come back in a day and see how they're doing. Alright, so we've got our Primaris. I've been storing them right here in this bucket with the LA Awesome, which is this stuff right here. Poured that in here. They've been in here for, it's been about 2 days, and they've been soaking inside. Now I'm gonna pull one out of the bucket. here's one right here. So here's a Primaris. He has been soaking in this bucket for a while, and as you can see, some of the paint has been coming off already. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to scrub him. I'm just going to scrub him with this brush. It's a toothbrush, just a regular old toothbrush. It's not a fancy toothbrush, it's just a toothbrush. Just scrub him a little bit. Wash off the water, and as you can see, man, it came off. Like, that was just, I just did that in real time. So, just a few little scrubs there, and you know, he's already pretty scrubbed. Now be careful now, because some Primaris pieces have you know, little like stuff sticking off, like these little like fins that come off here. You want to be careful with that, because if you brush too hard, or if you accidentally press on it too hard with your finger, you could break it off. So you don't want to be too rough. But most Primaris Space Marines are sturdy, just because these particular models are kind of thick, you know, and they're not really like kind of detailed like a lot of other minis can be. And just so you can see right here, here is this is a Hell Blaster, and I went ahead and scrubbed him for you, and he's pretty much ready to go. Like, as you can see, there's a little bit of white inside some of the creases. There's still a little bit of white primer that I couldn't get out, but after you prime that and repaint it, I think it's gonna look fine, especially since, like, once again, Primaris they're kind of thick. They kind of have a lot of flat surfaces, so you can get away with that a little bit more than you can with like a more detailed model, like say a Harlequin, which, you know, I wouldn't really try that. But, you know, you never know. So I've been scrubbing this Interceptor for a while now, and this is about as good as I think I can get it. You know, I think that it's a pretty good job. As you can see, there's some creases in there that I didn't get. The real test is going to be when I prime it to see how much detail I'm really going to lose. It's hard to tell, because that could be, you know, that could be very thin, and that might not actually block out that much of the detail. But I did break it. Look, scrubbing it, I broke off a leg. Possibly the cleaner might have eaten away some of the glue. Also, I broke off one of the fins. Exactly what I said to be careful of happened. I broke off one of the fins. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a totally ideal process. This looks like it's going to be a little more work than I thought it was going to be. But at the same time, I think that, you know, if you were going to strip maybe one or two models, this would be maybe the way to go. A whole unit, this looks like this is going to be kind of tough. But we'll see. We'll see how much easier it gets. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a learning curve. But you know, right now it's looking like I'm maybe 70% happy with it. The real test is going to be when I prime it. All right, so after about an hour or so of scrubbing and washing, I had you know, some pretty mixed results. I think that the Intercessors and the Hellblasters turned out fine. You know, nothing broke on them. They're really sturdy. For the most part, you know, I got pretty much everything off. The flat surfaces are clean. There's, you know, some that are in the creases and details a little bit. After we prime them, you know, we'll get a better idea of how much of the detail we're going to lose. I really don't think it's going to be that much, particularly with the Intercessors and the Hellblasters. However, with the Interceptors, it was a little bit of a different story. I got one Interceptor pretty much in perfect condition. Yeah, I got him all scrubbed out. He looks fine. His fins are fine, and I was really gentle with him. This was the third one I did. But however, on this one right here, he was mostly fine. I did knock off one of his fins. Luckily, I was really careful, and I've still got the pieces. So I knocked off the fin. I can glue that back on. But he should be okay once he's primed. And then this guy got the worst of it. He lost an arm, he lost a leg, and he lost 2 of the back fins. So he's gonna need some gluing, he's gonna need some repair, and then all 3 of them have to get put back on their stand, but I'm not surprised about that because that was kind of precarious to begin with. The interceptors, the flying Primaris, I knew that they were gonna be the most gentle, but just make sure when you're doing it, make sure that you've got something to catch these little pieces in case they fall off while you're brushing them, so you can at least keep the pieces so we can, glue them on. Some of them are really tiny, like this one right here. That little fin right there, that's really tiny. Real small details, but that's working with miniatures. That's what you're gonna deal with. It also really helps you to have a pair of tweezers on hand, just in case you need to get a little piece, pick up a piece or hold them at a particular angle. But basically, that's, I've scrubbed 5 for today. That's about all I can do for now. I got a lot to go. So we got a long way to go. This is a very long-term project here, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way this worked. I mean, you can't really complain. For, $3 a bottle, LA Awesome did a pretty good job of stripping the paint off. And next thing is we're gonna prime them and we're gonna see how they look. We're gonna see how much detail we lose. And how about you guys out there? Have you had any experience doing this? Have you had any experience stripping your models? What's worked for you? Is there a particular cleaner that worked really well for you? Did you lose a lot of detail? Did it turn out great? Let me know. Is it worth it to just, not even do it? Just buy new models? I'm curious because this is something I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to do this, so I'm very curious as to how other people do it, what your results are, and what you think. Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time right here. My name is Jack. Talk to you soon.